Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. And yes, we are into the second to last episode of the series regardless, because we are up here in the Stanley Cup Finals. I apologize about the abrupt ending at the last one, is because there was a thunderstorm happening, and it has now passed by, which is good, so I'm recording the rest of this. Ironically enough, we're going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I'm hoping that we could go out in the series with a Stanley Cup win. It's been a very, very good playoff run so far, and we honestly don't even know what Tampa Bay looks like, but they apparently didn't have that good of a season, so we should be technically the better of the two teams, but obviously we still got to look at the roster and see if we actually are. But in the conference finals against Nashville, we actually had an easier time than I kind of expected. As you can see, we won the first two games pretty nicely in Nashville. Then we lost a game in overtime, and then we won 7-4, and then they got one game back, and I was kind of scared again that they were going to actually be able to rally back. But Game 7, we shut them out 3-0, and yeah, now we're up here in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's been a great run so far, and I'm just looking at now, apparently Tampa's 12-3 in the playoffs, so and it's kind of a bit weird considering the fact that this team was like a 500 team in the regular season, and all of a sudden they're just killing it in the playoffs. Like, I think we should be the better of the two teams, even if they've been hot in the playoffs, but you never really know. Before we get into the Stanley Cup Finals, though, let's actually take a look at our player stats a little bit more in depth, because I kind of rushed through that at the end just because, like I said, I didn't want to lose power in the end of last episode, because that would have absolutely sucked, because I probably would have lost like all the playoffs, because I don't think I even saved in between. And obviously I didn't want that to happen, especially when this is our last run for Stanley Cup. So here's our player stats going into the Stanley Cup Finals. You could say Dmitry Leeson has been one of our best players for sure. 20 points in 19 games. He had a clutch 2-goal performance in Game 7, or not Game 7, Game 6 against the Preds. And one of them we actually saw on video, and it was pretty insane what he did. Really great player he has turned out to be. Avery Parrott, 17 points. He's been phenomenal, as he normally is at 40 years old. Ricardo Hartnell's been pretty good as well. Great plus-minus. Derek Heath has been solid. Loins hasn't really done much, but that's okay, because he doesn't really need to. Darby's been good. Bobkov's been good. Vico and Gamble both have 10 points as well. Jansevsky with 3 points. Glenn Cross has 13. Larmour and Schultz haven't really done much, but once again, our top 9 pretty much in general has been really, really solid. And on the defensive front, Ryan Danner has just been a complete machine this year. 24 points in 19 playoff games and a plus 18. Then we got some good lockdown defenders like Smith, Pelly, and Klepis who are doing their job. Butsayev has been really great defensively, a plus 19 next to Danner. St. Jacques with 1 point in 5 games. Howes and Tulipov have been pretty solid. Tulipov probably the worst of the bunch because he's a -5, but at least we are still winning games. And as you can see so far, Spencer Pusher has been really, really good this year in the playoffs. Normally, he's not that great of a playoff goaltender, but this year he has turned into a playoff beast. Like the last few years in the playoffs, he's been like a 900 goaltender, but this year he is definitely showing that he wants a Stanley Cup win to wrap up the series, if potentially that will happen or not. We'll see if we're able to beat Tampa Bay, but we got to take a look at their roster. But I also do want to compare us to them in the regular season and playoffs, because I want to see what they're like in terms of simulating. Because obviously they just made it into the playoffs, and somehow they're just going on a torrential pace in these playoffs, which is a bit weird. They were technically the 7th best team in the entire NHL, which is kind of a massive surprise to me, because they're technically 44-38, so I am kind of surprised about that. Goals for per game, they scored 3.04 in the regular season. We scored 3.41. They were actually a pretty good defensive team, 3.01 to our 2.91. Not the best defensive team, but still solid. Their power play was 17.5% to our 19.8. And their penalty kill was 81.7 to our 87.6. So technically we're better than them in everything regular season-wise. But the playoff-wise, obviously, is always a different thing. So let's take a look at how they've been playoff-wise, because we know they've won a lot of games, but have they been that great? Yes, they have. They're better offensively than us, which is kind of a surprise. They are also better defensively than us. Their power play has been better than us, and our penalty kill has been better. So we're only better penalty kill wise technically than this postseason. They've only lost one game on home ice this postseason, while we've only lost 2 games on the road. So something has got to change, obviously, and they're 9-1 in their last 10 games. So this might be a really tough task. Maybe they're a lot better of a team than they actually look from the regular season. So let's take a look at what their roster is looking like. Also, we'll take a look at their player stats as well going into this round, because I am curious on who's doing what for them. But this is the first time definitely we've faced Tampa in the Stanley Cup Finals. I think we played Florida, though, in the Cup Finals. So this is the second Floridian team we've played in the Stanley Cup Finals. And wow. Okay, this team is actually looking pretty solid. I can kind of see why they've gotten as far as they did. So Matthew Lefebvre, or Lefebvre, I don't know how it's pronounced. It's not Lefebvre. Actually, maybe it is Lefebvre, but it's got an R at the end, so I don't know. But Matthew, anyways, this guy, really solid player, young guy too. Former 2nd overall pick 7 years ago. You also have Michelle Parks, who is pretty solid, former pick of the Blues. Amory Janes, who was recently drafted a few years ago. So Tampa is a team that's only just getting into the playoff picture, I guess. But yeah, he's pretty good. Second line, Jamie Ma with Tommy Numelin and Chase Pekka. Okay. Third line, Tuomas Keltinen, or Keltinen? I don't know. Maddox Langenbrunner and Jonathan Sullivan. So they are lacking a little bit of depth on these sides a little bit, but they're still pretty balanced. Really good top 6. And a fourth line of Tuukka Salmelainen, Isaiah Ernie, and Caden Binnington. From a defensive standpoint, oh man, are you kidding me? We're going up against former defenseman Olli Herikala. Well, that's like a great way to wrap up a series, right? Olli Herikala up there with Reed O'Neill. It's been a while since I've seen Herikala. I don't think has he won Stanley Cups? I feel like he left us before the Stanley Cup wins, right? Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, because he went to Vancouver after he left us, and now he's been in Tampa Bay the last 3 years. I don't think he's ever won a Stanley Cup, because that one Stanley Cup Finals he went to is when we lost, I think, to the New York Islanders or whatever it was, I believe. Oh my goodness, he's making $20.5 million. Well, shout out to Herikala for balling out all that money. Jeez, wasn't expecting to make $20 million. Yikes, considering he's dropped off so much, but $20 million is quite a bit regardless for a D-man. Like, even if he was a 90 overall, I don't know if $20 million is what he should be making. They also have Vitanen and Pilar, Hall, and Tursunbayev. Goaltending standpoint, they have Arton Tootin, and yeah, this guy's a great goaltender. We've seen in the regular season, he's got like a 9-10 the last 2 years. This playoff run so far, he has a 9.36 through 15 games. He's only lost 1 game in regulation. Jeez. Yeah, this guy's a great goaltender. Wait, he was drafted by Tampa, but he played in Seattle as well? Huh. So he was drafted by Tampa, traded to Seattle before he made his debut, and now he's returned to the team that drafted him, looking to win a Stanley Cup. Interesting. They also have Zane Shing. And depth-wise, they have Gordon DeLuca and Tristan Long. Why do I recognize Long? It must be from Anaheim. That's the only guess. Okay, so yeah, they're a much better looking team than I was expecting, but they've had a great playoff run. They have not had a great regular season run. Well, the regular season was solid, but it wasn't insane like ours. So are we going to be able to win this Stanley Cup in this last episode of Simulating? Or are we going to go home with our heads down and end the series with a loss in the Stanley Cup Finals? Like I said, there will be another episode still after this, because there'll be like a recap episode of like a lot of the stuff. Like we'll go over the record book, player stats, that type of thing. But this is for all the marbles. It is only the Stanley Cup Finals in this episode. We will not be taking a look at player stats after the fact, probably, at all, because I don't want to simulate too far, and then it says mode complete. So, the Stanley Cup Finals for another time here in Anchorage. Let's hear what happens. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's get her done, boys. This is like 2 opposite spectrums of the of North America too, though. Like we're all the way up far up north, and then they're all the way down south in the east. So imagine the travel time between games, and this would be crazy. But first period of the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's get going, boys. First period, 1-1. I'll take that. Moss scores for them. Darby scores for us. Shots are 11-11. It's 1-1 after 1, so a ton of ones. But, yeah, very even period. Are we able to find a way to break this deadlock? Second period, still 1-1. Okay. Yeah, this is a very even game so far. They are out shooting us now, though, 24-16. So they had a better second period, I guess, than us. But we need to find a way to get that next goal here, boys. Let's get her done. We knocked out the President's Trophy winning Predators. We should be able to be out this Tampa team. Let's see what happens in this third period. Come on, boys. We're on home ice also for a reason. Parks makes it 2-1 Tampa. That's not great. Come on, boys. Let's answer back. Parrot, I know you have a goal in you. Power play for us. We do not capitalize. Come on, boys. Let's get something going here. Let's get something going. Final few minutes of Game 1. And we're unfortunately going to drop Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals 2-1. Not ideal. Our offense was not that good. And Tootin played his game. If Tootin ends up being like that type of shutdown goalie he is, we are in for a tough series for sure. Pusher was #1 star though, so Pusher kept us in the game. But we need to find a way to get our offense going here. Because or else they might try and just suffocate us. And that's probably what they did to all the other teams they played. And likely why they're 13-3 in this postseason. Let's make some adjustments to our lines. I know it's only one game, but I need to get our offense going. So I'm going to take Loins out and throw in Schultz. And I'm going to go with, instead of Tulipov, I'm going to go back to St. Jacques to see if he could bring in some offense from the back end a bit. And we'll keep the rest of this the same. So a subtle little change. We'll see if that's able to do anything for our team, but it's only one game. Obviously, we don't want to lose multiple games on home ice, though, because that sets us up for a really bad scenario. So let's bounce back here in Game 2 and at least have a split series headed to Tampa, where hopefully we could at least take one of those 2 games as well, because we do not want to lose multiple games in a row, or else we're going to be in a very bad situation. Game number 2 on home ice. Can we rebound from that 2-1 loss and get our offense going a bit? First period, 2-0 for us. Let's go. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. After a quiet offensive game, we get 2 goals in the first period. Leeson and Vico. Leeson has been really good on the offensive front. Like, I wasn't expecting this guy to be really an offensive player when I drafted him, but he's starting to develop into a pretty good player for us. Shots are 12-7 in favor of us, and it is a 2-0 game. Let's get some insurance and lock this one down if possible. Second period, 3-0. That's a great insurance. A power play goal from Vico. So Vico has been a little bit quiet in terms of goal scoring, but now he's got 2 goals in this game. I believe he had a goal, not last game, but I believe he had a goal in Game 6 of the Pred series, if I'm not mistaken. So he's starting to heat up a bit, which is great, because that helps out with the tertiary scoring quite a bit. So let's lock this game down here in the third period, as Janes makes it 3-1, which is not great, but we're still up by a couple. Just got to lock this game down here, boys. Penalty kill, nicely done. And then we score a power play goal right afterwards. Derek Keith makes it 4-1. Let's go, Keith. Gamble makes it 5-1. This is the offense that I needed to see in Game 1. And Parrott makes it 6-1. Tootin not playing so good anymore, huh? With his 930-something save percentage, he allows 6 goals. We outshot them 39-21, so complete domination in that game. Let's hope that we have that in the next few games as well. So Leeson from Hartnell, Vico from Bobkov and Gamble, Vico from Bobkov, Keith from Gamble and Leeson, Gamble from Bobkov and Darby, and Parrott from Hartnell. So I think Bobkov and Gamble and all those guys had a multi-points. Yeah, Gamble and Bobkov with 3 points each. Hartnell, Vico, and Leeson with 2 points each, and then Keith, Darby, and Parrott had a point each. And a great performance again from Spencer Pusher. Pusher might be up there for a Vezina, or not a Vezina candidate, Conn Smythe candidate this year. Vico the first star, Gamble the second star, and Bobkov the third. I think there's a lot of guys up there that could potentially win Conn Smythe if we are to win a Stanley Cup this year. I think Danner might win it just because he's picking up a lot of points, but you never know. We still got to win 3 more games, so we could still end up losing this, which hopefully is not the case. But it's a 1-1 series. We had a really good second game. Game 1 was good defensively, but the offense wasn't there. But we managed to find that in that last game. So let's keep the team the exact same and hope that we can continue rolling. Because I think almost in every round we've played, we've lost like game 1, except for against Nashville. And then we end up winning multiple games in a row. So let's see if that can continue. Game number 3, we are now in Tampa. Let's at least take one of these 2 games if possible. First period of a very important game number 3. And it's scoreless. I'll take it. I will take it. Good defensive period is what we always need. We've had 3 great defensive games so far, at this point at least. Who knows about the rest of this game, but so far, liking that we could shut down games as well. Like, we are great offensively, but sometimes we have these kind of games that are more like laid back in a sense, you know. Shots are 13-7 in favor of Tampa. It is a scoreless game. Can we find a way to break the goose egg? Second period, 2-0 us. Let's go. Schultz and Gamble. So Schultz does not really pick up a lot of points, but that's a massive goal with a minute left in the period to give it a 2-0 lead going into the third. Shots are 20-19 in favor of Tampa, but we're a period away from going up 2-1 in this Stanley Cup Finals. Let's see what happens in the third period. See if we're able to lock this one down. Penalty kill. Nicely done, boys. That's a good kill. Power play opportunity. We do not capitalize on that. Final 10 minutes, still up by a pair of goals. Just lock it down. Jansevsky, who had not scored, I'm pretty sure, this entire run, makes it 3-0. And we are going to be taking a 2-1 series lead. And a shutout performance from Spencer Pusher, who's just been completely locked in this entire run. Awesome. Gamble from Keith, Schultz from Jansevsky and Larmour, and Jansevsky from Larmour and Klepis. Yeah, that was Jansevsky's first goal of the playoffs. It only took till the Stanley Cup Finals. Wow. And now I'm pretty sure everybody on our roster, except for some defenders, have had a goal in this playoff run. I am really surprised that we're this good of a defensive team still, though. Like, I didn't really expect that the offense would, or the offense and the defense would do this good. Because obviously we're great offensively right now, but the defense manages to lock down games when it needs to. Danner has no points so far, I think, in this final, which is kind of surprising. But I think Spencer Pusher is definitely trying to make a case for Conn Smythe if he wins the Stanley Cup. Definitely is. We're going to keep the team the exact same. We've had 2 great defensive efforts in a row. We have 9 goals scored in the last 2 as well. So obviously, everything is clicking. Can we take a 3-1 stranglehold on the Lightning and have a chance to win the Stanley Cup on home ice? Come on, boys. Let's do this. Let's do this. First period of game number 4. We're tied at 1. I'll take it. Good defensive period. All things considered, Darby scored first, but Sullivan scores for them. The shots are 14-10 in favor of Tampa, so they got a lot more shots than us by 4 only, but still, it is a 1-1 game, so Pusher doing what he needs to do to try and keep this team in this game. Can we find a way to get the lead in the second period? Second period? Still tied at 1, okay. Another close game, huh? So back to kind of similar to what game 1 was like. Shots are 23-22, and it's a 1-1 game. Very even game so far, shot-wise and goal-wise. Who wants to be the one to get that next goal? Third period underway in a crucial game 4. Power play early for us into the third, and Gamble makes it a 2-1 lead. Huge goal there from Gamble. Power play again. We do not capitalize this time around, but Gamble has a big goal right now. Into the final 5 minutes of this third period. Oh, and Salma Leinen ties it up late. That's a big goal for the Lightning. That might have saved their season right there. It's 2-2. The shots are 32-31. It's been a very even game. It sucks that we had to give up that late goal because we were that close to winning another great defensive game. But now it goes to overtime. We win this game. We are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup. We lose this game. We're back to square one again. Who wants to be that hero? Obviously, I'm going to say Parrott. But honestly, anybody on this roster, even St. Jacques, who has not scored yet. Let's see what happens. Come on, boys, please. Let's get that next one. No! Lefebvre scores, and it's 3-2 Tampa. And unfortunately, we lose by a goal in Game 4, and we have a tie series headed back home. Darby from Leeson and Larmour, and Gamble from Bobkov and Hartnell. So unfortunately, a little bit of a late collapse. And another close game, another good goaltending game for both goalies, I'd say. But we are going to at least go to a Game 6 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Yikes. Don't know if I want to make any changes. Maybe I'll go back to the original lines again. Danner has no points still in this round, which is not good. We need him to get going. Because if he's not getting going, then our offense is not doing what it's normally doing. We'll go back to our original lines again. Pusher obviously still will be in net. And I think we'll take Schultz out. And we'll give Loins another game. Just for something to change up the complexion maybe of the team. But, this is where it gets nerve-wracking. We win this next game, we're one win away from the Stanley Cup. We lose this next game, we might end up losing the Stanley Cup in Tampa, which obviously would suck. Like I said, I really want to end this series off with the Stanley Cup win, but it comes down to winning 2 of the next 3 games if it goes to a Game 7, or 2 games in general. Can we win this game on home ice and take a 3-2 series lead? Or will that overtime come back to bite us? Come on, boys, please. Let's get her done. This is a very big game. It might be our last home game of this entire series. Who knows? First period of Game 5. 1-1. So exact same thing as last game. They scored first this time around, though. Langenbrunner and Glenn Cross. Shots are 13-6 in favor of us. So Pusher having not the best time to start off this game, but we're out shooting them, which means our offense is doing good in terms of getting chances, but Tootin is all of a sudden locked in like he used to be, which is not great. Can we find a way to get that next crucial goal in the second period? Because this is a massive period going into the third. Like, I'd rather stay tied than have no goals, or than have a goal against. So hopefully we can find a way to just keep this deadlocked or get the goal to give us the lead. Second period, 2-2. Jeez, this is nuts. Oh man, this is the type of series that's gonna make me either really happy or very disappointed in losing. But Ricardo Hartnell made it 2-1, and then they tied it up in Janes. It's a 2-2 game going into the third. We're out shooting 27-15, so we're definitely dictating the flow, but Pusher's not having his strongest effort, which is not great. Can we find a way to get that lead back in the third period? This is a very big period for this entire series. Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Penalty kill to start the third. We kill it off. That is good. Come on, boys. Come on, Parrott. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties, please. Thank you. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties. Thank you. And then we score Loins. No way. Are you kidding me? The guy that literally just got put into the lineup on the 4th line picks up the game-winning goal, and we are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup just like that. Okay. Was not expecting Loins to do that, but here we are. Here we are. Glenn Cross from Keith and Vico, Hartnell from Parrott and Leeson, and Loins from Jansevsky. So Jansevsky and Loins and all of a sudden are just doing stuff. Pusher gets second star and Glenn Cross the third star, but we're 1 win away from another Stanley Cup in Anchorage. Where it belongs. Where it belongs. We need to just win one more game. Hopefully it's in Tampa Bay, because Game 7 on home ice would get a little nerve-wracking, but we're 1 win away from the Stanley Cup. I feel like since Loins just scored the game winner, I should keep him in over the youngster. Because he has obviously not... he's only got 1 goal in 8 games, which is not really ideal. But I feel like since he just scored, I feel like I should keep him in. Schultz has 3 points in 16, so technically not really much better. Yeah, +1, and Schultz is what? Even 0. Yeah, I guess we'll keep Loins in because of that game-winning goal. Congrats, man. You're going to get the chance to maybe have a Stanley Cup celebration. Who knows what the AI is going to choose if we end up having a chance to win this. I'm also going to just quickly do a little cut in this video just because I want to make sure my Elgato has not randomly frozen at any point in this episode. Okay, here we are going into Game 6. We are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup. Are we going to do it? Or are we going to go to a game 7 where we have a chance to do it on home ice? Come on, guys, please. Let's get this Stanley Cup and give me at least another celebration to be really happy about, because it's been 7 years since we won a Stanley Cup. We've never won one with Parrott as the captain before. This would be the first time. Let's see what happens. We're going to not slow simulate this game until the third period, obviously. But if there is a Game 7, the entire game would be slow simulated. So here we go. Game 6 in Tampa. Let's get this Stanley Cup win, boys. Let's do it. Let's do it. First period of game number 6. 2-1 for us. Okay. Okay. And of course, Parrott has to score in this game. 2 power play goals in the opening period. That's great to see our power play clicking. So Parrott, Glenncross, and then Binnington gets Tampa on the boards. The shots are 12-9 in favor of us, only up by a goal. Can we get some big insurance for our team going into the third? Second period. 3-2. Okay, we're still only up by a goal, which is a bit scary. We were up by 2, but a short-handed goal from Janes gets Tampa back within 1. The shots are 24-17. There is more rain coming down as I'm recording this, so I'm very, very nerve-wracked because I don't want to lose my power randomly, but just pray that it doesn't happen. Let's see what happens in this third period. We're a period away from winning the Stanley Cup. We just got to get some insurance and lock it down. Let's get it done, boys. Come on. Penalty kill to start the third. We kill it off. That's a big penalty kill there. Let's get this done, guys. Aw, Ma ties the game up. God damn it. That's not great. That is not great. Come on, boys. Might have to intervene shortly. Let's go down to 4 times because we are near the end. Power play late into the game. We are still on the power play. We're intervening now because obviously there is a chance that we might score randomly a late goal. And obviously I don't want to miss this Stanley Cup celebration if we are to get that. So will we be going to overtime, or will we find a way to win this game late and get ourselves that Stanley Cup? Let's see. Come on, boys. Let's win here, or else we're going to have to fly all the way back to Anchorage, which is quite a distance. So here we go. Defensive zone face-off. So I guess our power play just ended. Or are we still in the power play? Oh, yeah, we are still in the power play, but it just ended now. Bobkov to Gamble. Here comes Gamble. Walking in. Gamble makes some moves. Bobkov takes it a weak backhand that just goes wide. Or it goes wide by quite a bit, actually, but still. Got to make it a bit dramatic. Hartnell over to Bobkov. Over to Gamble. Gamble carries it in. Bobkov a blast and a big save by Tootin. Damn. Wasn't expecting Bobkov to get ripping like shots like that. The guy's a playmaker, but he looked like a sniper on that play. Avery Parrott's now up to 3rd in points in the playoff race so far. Leeson out there with Danner, Parrott, and Hartnell. I don't know who else is out there. I think it's Butsayev, maybe. It's one of the Russian guys. Come on, boys. Get it away. Get it away, or else... Get it away! Ah, yikes. That was dangerous. Nice job, Smith-Pelly. Good job recovering that. Leeson now with it. We've seen some crazy stuff from Leeson. Hartnell to Leeson! Big save there by Tootin. Leeson's looking like a monster still on that puck. We're into the final minute of the third period. Danner over to Leeson. Back to Hartnell. Hartnell finds Parrott. Parrott back to Smith-Pelly. Back to Parrott. Can't walk to the middle. Leeson got it back. We got a lot of pressure going, which means maybe we were able to score here. Smith-Pelly still with it to Hartnell. And that's stopped by Tootin. When you get a lot of pressure like that, usually there's a goal. So I was really thinking that we might have been able to have a score right late in this game, but unfortunately we do not score there. We might go to overtime in this one. And who knows how long overtime will last. Hopefully in our favor, at least, though. Come on, boys. Darby wins the draw. Smith-Pelly gets hit, and now they have a 2-on-1. Ryan Danner's got to get back here, and he does. Nicely done. He's an offensive defenseman, but that was a great shutdown play. That's not a great play, though, and now we got rid of it. Good. Almost a bad turnover there. Darby can't get it out. Now it's with Smith-Pelly. He throws it up the boards. I don't know why he did that, but he did. Tampa walks in. Lefebvre shot. That was a bit dangerous. Pusher didn't even move. Gamble with it, and we are going to be going to overtime with a chance to win the Stanley Cup here in Tampa. If they score, though, we go to a Game 7 back in Anchorage for all the marbles. This is nerve-wracking. I hope Parrott scores, because that would literally be such a, like, storybook ending, though. Winning a Stanley Cup, Avery Parrott scoring. But I don't really care who scores on our team. I just want us to win the Stanley Cup. So let's do it, boys. Let's get that cup, and let's shut down these Tampa fans. Let's quiet them down. It's not 2020 anymore, not 2021. They're not in their dynasty era anymore. Okay? Let's shut down their fans. No offense to Eric Halla, but still. Ah! Nice save there by Pusher. That was dangerous right off the hop from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Surprised they got some inside position on that play, but a great save by Pusher. Keeps this game going. Leeson at the draw against Parks. Come on, Leeson. He ties them up, and we end up getting the draw, and Parrott gets hit. Parks with it now. The Lefebvre to Janes, and another big save by Pusher. Not liking that Tampa's getting the good chances off the gate. But it only takes one shot for us to get maybe a goal. Who knows? Janes with it again. Get it away, boys. He's a big guy, it looks like. Nicely done. Hartnell to Leeson. Leeson carrying it up. Finding Parrott. Parrott makes a toe drag. Parrott can't get by the defenseman, though. Parrott ties up the man. It's loose in the corner. We can't find it. Lefebvre with it. I don't know why Lefebvre always makes me feel like he's a defenseman instead. Parks has shot. Another great save by Pusher. Come on, boys. I don't like that they're getting chances. Pusher has been pretty locked in, though, here in OT so far. Get it away. Get it away. Nicely done. Good job bodying off Eric Halla. Here comes Parrott. Parrott with it. Avery Parrott can't get by. Eric Halla now with it for the Lightning. He starts to rush. He's their captain, it looks like. Damn, I didn't expect him to be their captain, because he's only been there for a few years. He made a big turnover. Here comes Gamble. Lee Gamble. Throws it back. Darby tries to shoot it. It's blocked by Eric Halla. Gamble, a shot to stop, rebound. Oh my goodness. The play was right there for Derek Keith, I think, or who was that? He knocked it out of the air and he got robbed. Oh man, it was right there to win the Stanley Cup, but the deflection out of the air was just not the right way it needed to be. And in comes Tampa now. Get it away, boys. Get it away. Oh my goodness, that Janes guy is insane. He's got size and he's got hands, apparently. He just walks to the front of the net, and a big save by Pusher keeps his OT going. I do not know how we didn't end it right there. Damn, that was so close. Oh, Smith-Pelly to Gamble. Still looking to find that Stanley Cup winning goal. I don't think we've ever had an OT Stanley Cup winning goal before for us, so that would be something awesome to see. Here is Maw. Get it away, boys. O'Neal loses it. Here comes Bobkov. Right down the middle. A big block by their defenseman, though. And that's now with Gamble in the slot. That's turned away, too, as their defenseman slowly getting up. That was a mad scramble. Here's Keith. Over to Smith-Pelly. Down low to Bobkov, who can't get by. This is quite the overtime. And Eric Halla is still out there, which is crazy. Nice play there by Danner. It was technically like a replacement for Eric Halla, actually, in the lineup back in the day, I think. Here comes Smith-Pelly dumping it in. We got Glencross out there now. Glencross tying up Vietnan, and Glencross finds it. Glencross to the front, and then is turned away. Almost found a way to get that 5-hole. And a big penalty in the offensive zone. That's not what you want to do. We take an elbowing penalty, and of course it's Lee Gamble, the guy that took 203 penalty minutes, I think it was, in the regular season. Don't take offensive zone penalties like that, especially in this type of scenario. Like, what are you doing? You could just easily nudge him off a little bit. You don't need to run right through him, but Tampa with a power play here in OT. We need to kill this off here, boys. Penalty kill's been decent so far tonight. Newman in a shot that's blocked. Leeson takes it. He can't clear it. Howes will rag it a little bit, and now he dumps it good. Killed 10 seconds off the clock. So full 2 minutes almost, too. So this is going to be tough. Leeson poking at it. Leeson's so active with his stick. That's like one thing I've realized by watching this guy. He's just very pokey. Lefebvre shot great, blocked by Howes, and Leeson will clear it. Just got to kill this off, boys. Or find a way to score a shorthanded goal to win the Stanley Cup, because we've allowed a shorthanded goal in Game 6 against the Islanders when we lost the Stanley Cup, I think it was. And then that's what got the Islanders the Stanley Cup win in Game 7. So it'd be nice to get us a shorthanded goal in the Stanley Cup Finals, huh? Nice defensive play there, and Howes will clear it. We've killed off a minute. Pretty good so far. Just got to keep it up, though. Just got to keep it up. Leeson looking like he's going to try and poke check. He does not. Langenbrunner. Good poke there, guys. Leeson to Klepis. He gets it out. Here comes Loins, who had a game-winning goal in game number 5, I guess. Or, yeah, game number 5. Can't get in. It would be crazy if he had another game-winning goal. Harakala with it. Get it away, boys. Get it away. Nice poke there, and it doesn't come out. And when you get it away now, Parrott almost had a breakaway, but Harakala managed to get back on his former teammate. Parrott with it. Short-handed. Avery Parrott, a shot that's turned away. Loins with it. Finding it over to Parrott. Parrott's looking like he wants to score a short-handed goal here, but he doesn't. Here comes Janes again. Get it away, boys. This guy's a huge monster. We do not want him to have the puck too long. Danner with it. Trying to kick it around the boards. Doesn't get it through, but he steals it back. And now he found Gamble out of the box. Here's Gamble. After we killed off the penalty, he finds the Parrott. Shoots, and that one, I think, might have just ticked off the glove as he was looking top cheese. Wow. That close again. Come on, boys. Here comes Gamble. Again, he's poked. It's now with Tulipov. He finds it up to Vico. Vico to Gamble. Over to Keith. A big chance and a huge save there from their goaltender, Tootin. Smith-Pelly can't get by. Here's Maw over to Janes. Get it away, boys. This guy's huge. He's got too much size. Like, I feel like this guy's like 6'5", like 190. Vico over to Gamble. Gamble makes a move. Finds it to Derek Keith. Keith has had some big OT goals in the playoffs before. I'm almost certain on that. Smith-Pelly playing it down low. Vico finds it to Keith. Over to Glenncross. Glenncross over to Keith again. Derek Keith. Walking in. Keith to the middle. Shoots, and that's off his own man. Glenncross now with it. Gets hit from behind a little bit. He gets it back, though. Vico to the point. Smith-Pelly. Over to Glenncross. A shot, and that's blocked. Tampa just doing whatever they can to not allow any shots to the net. Come on, boys. We're this close. We might be going to double overtime, which would be the longest game I probably have called on this like broadcast type of thing. Big save there from Pusher on the toe drag. And we got a minute 35 left of this first overtime before we might be going to a second. Crazy. Crazy game. Hopefully this episode doesn't end up being like crazy long, but oh well. Darby can't win the draw. Get it away, boys. Newman with it. He shoots. Oh my goodness, that was a dangerous looking shot. We couldn't catch it with the glove, but it ends up going out of play. Nice save there from Pusher. Doing whatever he can. Come on, Darby. I know you're not a natural center, but you got the best face-off stats for this line, so let's see if he can win it here. Tie up, and he does win it. Smith-Pelly almost got knocked off of it. Here's Danner to Bobkov. He finds Gamble. Gamble with it. He's got also the black skate holders, which is really awesome. The scrum in the corner. It goes to the front. Nobody gets to it. Was that Gamble that just destroyed that guy? I think it was. Gamble's a menace out there. Darby goes back into his own zone. Finds it to Danner. Over to Gamble again. Gamble's been over everywhere in this overtime. He walks to the front. Finds Bobkov. It's blocked. Gamble now gets to it. Can't get a shot. God damn. I'm surprised Harakala is that good defensively because he's an OFD as well. Parks with it now. Parks up to Maw. Maw gets hit by Danner. Nice hit by the OFD. He gets it back again. He finds Butsayev, who jumps into the rush. He can't get by. And now Janes has it again. Get it away, boys. They get it back. A huge save there on the 1T by Pusher. We're 34.6 seconds away from going to a double overtime. Oh. This is crazy. This might be one of the best games we've watched also in the series so far. Nice face-off win there by Leeson. Here is Avery Parrott, the captain, looking to get his team a Stanley Cup win. He finds it to Hartnell. Hartnell can't get by the blue line. Tersenbaev held up a little bit. Parks now with it. Get away, boys. Nice hit there. I don't know who that was, but good hit. Parrott. Over to Ricardo Hartnell. Hartnell holds on. Makes it move. Ricardo Hartnell trying to dangle Tersenbaev. Now he gets it back. Parrott, a shot that stopped. Rebound. Another chance and another save by Tootin. Some great chances in this overtime for both teams. And we are going to be going to a double overtime in Tampa Bay with a score 3-3. Normally in the sim engine, these games would end really quickly. But in game, this could easily go to a 5 overtime game if the game wants it to. So shots are 48-35 in favor of us, but it's still 3-3. Wow. Absolute chaos in this game. Absolute chaos. Let's get into this. See if we're able to win this game in double OT. I don't want this episode being super long, but at the same time, it is the second last episode. So let's see what happens here. Leeson against Parks on the draw for double overtime. Let's see what happens. Smith-Pelly here in double OT finds it to Danner. He finds it to Leeson, who threw it over to Hartnell, over to Parrott. Hartnell, Parrott again with it. Avery Parrott getting hit a little bit from behind. No penalty call. He finds it over to Leeson. Leeson can't get by. We're kind of running around a little bit here. Leeson finds Parrott now. Here comes Parrott. Avery Parrott, the captain, walking down Main Street. A shot in Tootin. Stares him down. This close to getting Parrott that Stanley Cup winning goal. That would have been sick. This is a crazy damn game. I know I keep saying that, but man, so many chances. Leeson at the draw again. And he wins it. Leeson threw it back. Smith-Pelly can't hold it in. A little bit of a miscommunication on the snapback. And yeah, Smith-Pelly just could not hold that in, unfortunately. So we got to face off outside their zone now. Come on, Leeson. You wanted a little too clean last time. Can't win it there, though, this time. Eric Callow with it. Get away, boys. Nice play there with the stick by the captain. Love to see it. Leeson now with it. Leeson finds it. The Hartnell. He can't get the shot. Paris shot. And that is a big save again from Tootin. Has a lot of guys down on the ice randomly. From a big collision, I guess. Here's Parks walking in. A shot. A nice save with the blocker by Pusher. Hartnell finds Darby. Darby trying to get by. Can't. Now he's running into a bunch of people, but still gets by. Ted Darby holding on to it. Pilar takes it away. Here is Parks again, I think. Yeah, Parks again. He gets creamed. Gamble takes it. It's a 3-on-2 if we hurry. Darby can't get by. Smith-Pelly holds the line. Smith-Pelly to Darby. Can't get by. Darby steals it again in the slot, and another save from Tootin. Gamble. This is mayhem, man. Gamble trying to steal it. Can't. Danner picks off the pass. We are getting some really good chances in this OT. Bobkov to Smith-Pelly. Up to Gamble again, who can't get by, but Darby's got it back. Ted Darby drops in the Bobkov between the legs, but he can't do anything. That was a nice drop back pass. Well timed, too. Oh my goodness, a huge hit from Smith-Pelly. Trying to fire up the boys even more. Vigo up to Derek Keith. 1-on-1. Keith is now got a lot of guys on him. Not as fast as he used to be in his prime. Pilar with it over to Numelin. Get away, boys. Pekka. Don't let him in, boys. Ma shoots. That goes wide. Ma a little bit slow to get up. Danner finds it to Glencross. Glencross finds Keith. Derek Keith. Trying to get by. He cannot. Damn, this is a long game. Ma walks in. A big save by Pusher. Get away. Vico tying him up. Butsayev digs it out. And Vico's got it. Vico with it. The sniper. Walking in. Can't get by. And it's back with Numelin again. Numelin getting hit there from, don't know who that was. Butsayev, I think, maybe. And another little hit in the corner. Get it away, guys. Nicely done, Butsayev. Great desperation there. Vico with it. Vico with a shot, and Tootin snares it. Tootin is locked in right now when both goalies are kind of locked in. And it seems like one of their players is a little bit rattled from whatever hit that was. But looks like he's going to stay in the game because I think I have injuries off anyways. Leeson can't win the draw there. Here is Hall. Hall carrying it up. Can't get by. Keltonen with it now. Over to Langenbrunner. That's a big block by Klepis. And a loose puck there. We managed to find that, luckily. Leeson with it. Leeson can't get by, and it's now back with Keltonen again. Langenbrunner. Over to Sullivan. Sullivan trying to drag his way in, and loose puck, and Tulipov found it. Ricardo Hartnell again. Finds it up to Leeson. Leeson trying to make a move, splitting two defensemen. I don't know why he's trying that. We just need a simple shot. We don't need the fancy goals, you know. Tulipov finding it up to Ricardo Hartnell again. Hartnell's got the speed. Ricardo Hartnell driving to the net. It's loose, and Teuton finds the loose puck before there's a rebound. Yikes. Yikes, this game. 4:50 left in double OT. And then we'd be heading to triple overtime. Oh my goodness. We better win after all this, right? We better win after all this. Sylvain Parks, or not Sylvain Parks, that's in my other series. The other Parks, I don't know what his first name is, I can't remember now. But Darby, over to Bobkov. Bobkov's got room. He can't get a shot on net because he was pressured a little bit from behind. Jane's over to Lefebvre. Get away, boys, get away. A shot from Tampa. Tulipov gets thrown to the net. Lefebvre can't get a shot there. Jane's on it. Get away, guys. He's scary. Tulipov finds it to Darby. Darby finds it to Bobkov. Bobkov another chance here, and he just gets knocked over. There's been some pretty big physical hits in overtime, which is kind of a surprise. Parks gets craned by Smith-Pelly. Smith-Pelly's just laying people out here. Bobkov with it. He finds Darby in the slot, and Darby can't get it by Teuton. Darby again. Can't get by Bobkov. Finds it back to Danner. Over to Darby. Another shot and another save from Teuton. Darby's had some good looks in this overtime. Another scrum in the corner. Bobkov digs it out. He finds it over to Danner. A billet shot, and I don't know how Teuton read that. There was a big screen in front, but he manages to get across and rob Ryan Danner. Holy crap. We've had 56 shots on goal. One of them has to go in eventually, right? Another face-off win. Keith to Smith-Pelly. It's blocked by Harakala. Craziness. Nice hit there from Danner, who's had a good game. Smith-Pelly loses it in the corner to Ernie. Ernie kicks it back, and Tampa's got a chance now. Salmelainen knocked off by Danner. Here comes Danner. 2-on-2. Danner walking all by himself. Finds Glenn Cross. That's turned away by Teuton as well. Jeez. Woo. Get away, boys. Harakala over to Binnington. That shot is stopped. That was a bullet of a shot there. Get away, guys. Get away. Get away. Ah, yikes. O'Neal walked right down the slot. We have an odd man rush, kind of. Because one of their defensemen's not back. Glenn Cross to Keith. He scores! Derek Keith wins the Stanley Cup in overtime. The Anchorage Ice Tigers have won a Stanley Cup in their final season on an overtime goal from Derek Keith, the 36 or whatever the hell he is year old. And we won the Stanley Cup for the third time in this franchise mode. I cannot ask for a better way to end off this series. Wow. What a goal that was. Put that one into the channel history books. We have won another Stanley Cup, and Ryan Danner will be taking home the Conn Smythe in this playoffs. It looks like he aged quite a bit considering he's 35. He looks almost more like 50 years old at that point, but he's going to be your Conn Smythe winner for this playoff run. And now out comes the Stanley Cup, and we get to see who Parrott is going to pass it off to and all that, which is very exciting. I cannot believe we won another Stanley Cup. We had so many great years coming up to this point that it was always possible, but this year I didn't know if we were going to do it. I didn't know if we were going to make the playoffs even. I thought maybe this team could have regressed a little bit, but here we are. We won a Stanley Cup, and Avery Parrott is a Stanley Cup champion as the captain for the first time. There's his third Stanley Cup ring. What a draft of glory this has been. Absolutely unreal. The Hungarian monster, Avery Parrott. Who is he going to pass it off to next? Because I'm letting AI decide. He's going to pass it off to... Let's see. Spencer Pusher. Okay, I like that call on that. Spencer Pusher. What a playoff performance from him. A lot of great games. Some bad ones, but mostly he had a lot of great ones. He is a Stanley Cup champion, I believe the first time in his career, because the last time we won the Stanley Cup, I don't remember if he was a goalie for us. So that might be his first Stanley Cup win. So congrats to him. And he's going to pass the Stanley Cup off to Derek Keith, the guy with the Stanley Cup winning goal. I couldn't have asked for a better selection. Thank you, AI, for actually making smart decisions. Derek Keith, his third Stanley Cup. And he had the game-winning goal to clinch it. His goal will go down into the history books like Bobby Orr versus the St. Louis Blues. Wow. There we go. Who's he going to pass it off to for the last guy? He's got to pass it to Danner, right? He's got to. Nope, he's going to Ted Darby. Okay, I'm fine with that too. Ted Darby's been here a long time. That's his third Stanley Cup, I'm pretty sure. Surprised that they didn't give it to the Conn Smythe guy again, but I am okay with that. Ted Darby, another Stanley Cup, and he's got a lot of gray hair too, even though he's 35. Like, seems like everybody on our team aged quite a bit over the years. Let's go. There is the boys celebrating another Stanley Cup win. A lot of the guys on the team win their first Stanley Cups, but there is a couple guys that have won now 3 Stanley Cups to wrap up the series. And we also win with a new head coach. Joe Thornton no longer there. Let's see those names on the Stanley Cup. Let's see those names on the list. Obviously, the music that normally plays during this point is copyrighted, so it's good that I normally talk over this point anyways, but let's freaking go. Another Stanley Cup. I did not expect this in the slightest. What a run. We knock out Minnesota, Edmonton, all those type of teams. So Parrott, Bobkov, Butsayev, Danner, Darby, Fitzgerald, Gamble, Glencross, Hartnell, Haydeen, Howes, Jancevski, Keith, Glepis, Larmour, Leeson, Loynes, Pusher, Schultz, Smith, Pelly, St. Jacques, Tulipov, and Vico. I had to try and find a way to read that all really quickly, but there we go. Your Stanley Cup champions on the 58th shot on goal. Because of Derek Heath. Let's take a look at that goal again, because it just ended the season for the Tampa Bay Lightning. As this play all develops after O'Neill, the defenseman, jumped in. Smith Pelly throws him down, which causes an odd man rush kind of. Vico will find it to Glencross. Glencross will carry it in. He'll reverse hit and get himself by. What a play by him. And he's able to make a great pass across. No defenseman's getting back from that. Like, O'Neill's still trying to get back. Derek Heath just walks into a clapper and buries this to win the Stanley Cup. That is unreal. Like, this picture, literally, I should make this my desktop background, because it's just, this is going to be an iconic photo that we look back on years down the road. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Wow. What an end to this series. Like, I wish there was another year left of this series, kind of, but at the same time, that's like the perfect way to wrap up a series. We are definitely going to be taking a look at the record book in next episode still, and doing the full-on recap. But Stanley Cup champions, let's go. We'll look through our player stats for the playoff run, but we will not look at their career stats till next episode. We will not look at through the record book till next episode. And yeah, wow. Let's look at those player stats. And also, let's see our run. We knock out Minnesota in 6 games. Knock out the Oilers in 7 games. Knock out the Preds in 6 games. And only 6 games to knock out the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Here is our player stats from the playoff run. Leeson, fantastic. 24 points in 25 games. Parrott, doing what he normally does. This guy literally doesn't age. Like, age is just a number to him. 21 points in 25 games. Keith, 15 points, the Stanley Cup winning goal. Hartnell had 15 points. Loynes had that one goal to give us a chance to win the Stanley Cup in Game 6, and we did so. Darby, 19 points, fantastic from him. Gamble and Bobkov both 17 points, fantastic. Vigo, 14 points, assist on the Stanley Cup winning goal. Jancevski, 6 points, he really came alive in the Stanley Cup final. Glencross, 17 points, also had an assist on the Stanley Cup winning goal. Larmour, 7 points. Schultz, 3 points, and wins a cup in his rookie season. Defensively, Danner was crazy good, but he was not as good in the Stanley Cup Finals, but still 24 points in 25 games, plus 16. Klepis, 5 points. Smith Pelly, 4 points. 3 points and a plus 17 from Butsayev. St. Jacques with 1 point in 8 games, minus 2. Howes had 24 games with 1 assist, and Tulipov had nothing in 18 games. And then goaltending-wise, Spencer Pusher easily could have won the Conn Smythe with a 926, but he did not. He did not. What a run for this team. And this team is a Stanley Cup champion. I can't believe it. Wow. Absolute wow. How is our AHL team doing right now? Or did they get eliminated? They must have got eliminated. Yeah, they got eliminated in the conference finals, which is unfortunate. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft the Glory franchise mode. So next episode will be the final episode of the series, and obviously the normal time will start up another series eventually. But yeah, next episode we'll go through every single player on our roster, look at their career stats, regular season, playoff wise. We'll go through all the record book through every single team, our own of course as well. And that will probably be pretty much it, I think. I'll also look through probably my record book that my buddy Jeff made me, and we'll probably basically kind of picture on where these players would be in our record book in terms of NHL history. And you guys can give me some suggestions on who you think should be in the Channel Hall of Fame for the series and all that type of thing. But very excited for that episode, but I will record that once you guys actually see that we win the Stanley Cup here. So anyways, let me know what you guys think down below, and we'll see you guys next time.